Oh, our friend would say, oh, have you met their parents yet? Have you met his parents yet? Oh, she's fabulous, or you'll love her mother. Oh, but be careful, she really likes to keep her house clean. And I thought, oh, geez, I'm putting her way up here, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm so nervous now. How am I going to handle myself? So I finally met her, and my goodness, such a warm-hearted woman she was. She just opened her arms to me, accepted me and the kids into the family, and showed us so much love that I can't even match all the love that she had given us. So Pat always knew what she wanted, and she knew how to get it. And from the minute she had laid eyes on Art, she knew he was the man for her. She would later even tell her Aunt Shirley, I'm going to marry that man. So it wasn't until a New Year's Eve that she would actually meet him. And he had asked her to dance because someone told him that she wanted to dance with him. And once they got on that dance floor, and they started moving across that floor like they were Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, they knew they fit together like a glove. They knew they were meant for each other. One day, later in the spring, as they were driving to her parents, Pat announced to Art, it's time we get married. In fact, you're going to ask Dad for his permission when we get there. This was Art's first lesson on life with Pat. He could never be the boss because he always had a manager. Music and dancing was always part of her life with Art. Every chance they got, they would join her parents and Sharon and Gil, and they'd go dancing. And she eventually went on to form her dance posse. These were all friends of theirs that just loved the music and the dancing just as much as they did. And they'd travel around the state, sometimes out of state, following the bands that they loved to dance to. And Pat didn't just dance to the music. Oh, no. She sang along to every tune. When that radio was playing, oh my goodness, I swear she knew every song that would play. And she never had a particular favorite either. Although I did hear her favorite song was the next song coming on. And Tim, he didn't always appreciate her song choices. And so what would she do? She'd just turn up the radio and sing a little louder. And then came karaoke. Pat found her groove. She loved it so much, she had a karaoke machine at home, she had a karaoke machine at the lake, she even had Art convert their basement into a karaoke lounge so she could have parties. And everyone was expected to sing. If you didn't like to sing, too bad. Try it, you'll like it. And if you've seen how that bar was stocked, there was plenty of liquid courage to go around to help you get up there. Pat loved celebrating everything. She definitely had some pet holidays, though. Christmas Eve was one. You can celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving wherever you want, but Christmas Eve was hers. From decorating the house, to the tree, to the food she'd have on the table, Pat would fuss over every detail. She loved creating things that everyone would talk about. Who remembers her chocolate-covered cherries? Or when Aunt Evie dressed up as Santa? She made sure everyone was happy. And one of my favorite memories was her traditional Italian spaghetti. Now, I was raised in a German family. Meat and potatoes, I tell you, meat and potatoes. Well, what was this spaghetti stuff on Christmas? We always had turkey and ham. What's with this spaghetti? Well, one taste and I found out. That was some pretty dark good spaghetti. And I could see why she would make it special by having it on Christmas Eve. Another favorite holiday for her was Easter. And she loved putting on that egg hunt. I don't know just how many eggs she would eventually cook in color, but I know it's more than I ever will in my lifetime. It gave her such pleasure to watch the kids scatter across the yard, looking for all the treasures that she had put out there. And it was always the older kids who would find that silver dollar. Then it was back to the house to enjoy all the goodies she made. And as much as she loved celebrating the holidays, I think her favorite day was birthdays. She would bake a cake, usually red velvet or carrot, and then decorate it like she had just picked it up from the bakery. And once we would all sing and blow out the candles, she'd bring out the ice cream. And it ain't just vanilla, folks. She had 3 or 4 flavors of ice cream that you could choose from. I will tell you one thing. Art and the boys learned you don't forget her birthday. One year, Art was going to stop after work and pick up a card, just a little something, you know. But he had to go and pick up Chris and a buddy first. Well, they weren't really where they were supposed to be, so Art had to do a little backtracking, and he eventually found them and brought him home and dropped him off and headed back out to the store. Oh, once he got home, she was quite unhappy with him because he forgot her birthday. And you don't forget Pat's birthday. And she looked at him with those eyes, and they got hard as steel, and there came that finger. Don't forget Art. And one year, both Tim and Chris forgot her birthday. Oh, so the next time their birthday came around, she kindly informed them, oh, we don't celebrate birthdays here anymore. Pat developed many skills over the years, and one of these was her garage sailing. She'd gather all the local papers, study the sales, and then plan her route. She had this sense of just knowing where to find the best stuff at the best price. One year, I remember, she had even purchased 3 lawnmowers. 3 lawnmowers! What are you going to do with 3 lawnmowers? So she filled her closet with designer-style clothing she found at the sales. And when they got their cabin in Alexandria, that gave her a whole new reason to go garage sailing. And she was so good at finding the best sales that she even had groupies. They would all come to her house, jump into 1 or 2 cars, head out for the day, and when they got back in the late afternoon, their trunks were packed full. And then when her grandchildren got old enough, she started taking them on her sailing adventures. And eventually, Linda and I had to tell them that Grandma sail stuff stays at Grandma. I don't think they really got to go to the free box after that anymore. But for me, though, the skill I greatest admired was her sewing. She loved sewing so much, she would have the neighborhood girls come over and learn how to sew from her. And she was not afraid to try to make anything. I remember Tim telling me how she learned to make her own lingerie. Who the heck makes their own lingerie? She made curtains for all of their homes. She started making fabric shopping bags before the rest of us even knew what they were. She made clothing for the kids, Western-style dancing shirts for Art, and sheets. Yes, she even made sheets. That woman could do anything. I was truly impressed with those skills when Andy was a young kid. He had a blanket he took everywhere, and it was looking like it too. And she took that poor, tattered piece of blanket and created a new one. She truly was an innovator. And another skill I admired about her was her ability to create and adapt recipes. She could tell by taste what was used to create a dish, right down to the seasoning. Anyone try a recipe for the vineyard salad? Oh yeah, that's a good one. And Tim talks about when she joined Weight Watchers. She knew Art and the boys wouldn't care for the food, so she adapted those recipes too. And one of those was called the chicken dilly sandwich. It was basically a Monte Cristo style sandwich, and she'd put chicken salad in it, no mayo, and then dip it in egg and fry it in oil. I somehow think that the oil part's not quite approved by Weight Watchers. And I know there are so many more memories. The library of VCR tapes when she learned to record from the TV. The visits back and forth with her Tennessee family, the Penningtons. driving to Winnebago, to Florida, and Disney World, fishing camps with the relatives, taking the grandkids to the lake, and so much more. All I can say is I hope this helps you to each share a memory of Pat, that it brings back a lot of good times with her and a lot of her best qualities that she had. I'm sure she would agree when I say, in the end, it's not the years in your life that counts. It's the life in your years.